Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. This is going to be my review for Shrek, a film that I think by now everyone has seen this movie. Um, but if you haven't, it's definitely one to check out. And who would have thought this movie would give us five sequels? That is right, we have, I believe, Shrek 5 coming out sometime next year. Um, which is pretty awesome. It looks like everybody's returning, as well as some new actors to join the Shrek family. Now, Shrek stars Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, John Lithgow. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I've always called him John Lithgow. I'm sure everybody, pronounce it differently. Um, and then you have Cameron Diaz as well. John Lithgow plays, what is it, like King or Lord Farquaad, who is pretty much this very short, I would say, dwarf size king. And he basically wants to, save the princess, who is played by Cameron Diaz. She plays Princess Fiona, who just so happens to have this curse where she turns into an ogre during a specific part of the day. You have Mike Myers, who of course plays the title role Shrek, who is this ogre who just kind of just wants to keep to himself. He doesn't want to be bothered. And you got Eddie Murphy, who plays Donkey, and the film itself takes place in this universe where a lot of your classics, not just your Disney classics, but your fairy tale classics, all come together, and Mother Goose and Three Blind Mice and just a whole wide variety of stories and characters, in these fantasy worlds coming together and having at times these interesting, funny, adult humor personalities. And it just leads for a really fun and hilarious movie, which is, looking back, which is pretty interesting to say the least, because there's a lot of adult themed moments in this, which I find interesting, and that kind of happens through a lot of animated movies, not just the Shrek films, that at the time just kind of goes over our head. But every character, at least that we get to see more of in this movie, just has one uh, you know, interesting moment, and just opens up a door of just being entertained and laughing your ass off. I think two characters, other than the main leads, two characters that I feel really stand out are Pinocchio and the Gingerbread Man. These two characters are just over the top in such a great way that anytime you see them in a scene, they steal it. I truly believe that they steal it, because they're so random, and the comedy timing on the characters, I think, works really well. Now, uh, as I was mentioning about John Lithgow playing Lord Farquaad, who is basically the villain of this film, and him wanting to get Princess Fiona. Well, what ends up happening is Shrek ends up getting like hired and involved in some way to save her, and Shrek's not really caring for Donkey, not caring for Fiona. But things start to change throughout the film. I'm not going to give away too much on that, but for those at least who haven't seen it, but it is worth checking out. Eddie Murphy, I think, is fantastic as Donkey. Just the chemistry alone with everybody, I think, works. Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy, both, former Saturday Night Live cast members from different times. I thought the chemistry for those two worked perfectly, and I wish there would have been more with those two. And the chemistry with Cameron Diaz and everybody, I think, worked. That's the one thing I really look towards when I'm watching a movie. It's just, does the chemistry work? Can they feed off of each other where it doesn't feel pushed or out of place and things like that? And surprisingly, it wasn't. I feel like everything just, the chemistry between everybody I thought worked really, really well. It was almost at times like they were just feeding off each other, which I like. Now, this is, of course, I believe it's more of a CGI film. I mean, this was during the time where we would start to see more CGI films come along to, end up leading to this day. But, some of these films, that would follow after Shrek, like the Ice Age films as a great example. I think the CGI works perfectly, especially when it comes to animated movies. But all in all, this movie is just a fun one. It's a classic at this point, and by now everyone has probably seen this movie. Now, originally, the role of Shrek was going to be Chris Farley, but unfortunately, Chris Farley had sadly passed. There are audio of him voicing the character, to what could have been. And after his passing, Mike Myers came in, and I believe Mike Myers actually ended up turning this down, which I thought was pretty interesting. So he came in and gave the character a Scottish accent, and well, the rest is history. We ended up getting 4 more sequels and then a 5th one on its way here. So, but all in all, it's just an entertaining film. It gets you laughing. You really get to just enjoy the characters for what they are. A lot of random and great moments. That's kind of something that goes on throughout the series. And just like the little twists that we get with all these different characters, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the series Once Upon a Time before Once Upon a Time came, where you just have all these fantasy, story, fairy tale characters in just this extended universe all coming together and kind of interacting with each other, especially when you have characters like Pinocchio and the Gingerbread, the Gingerbread Man. I'm thinking of a horror film, the Gingerbread Man, and of course that iconic moment. You know the Muffin Man. That's probably one of the most iconic scenes, and it shows how much a film can have an impact in society, especially for a film that has been out for so long and constantly has like memes and clips, people reenacting those scenes, and it's just looking back, it's just amazing how something like that would kind of turn into something long term. But yeah, I wish I could say more on this film. By now, like I said, by now I think everyone has seen it, and for anybody who hasn't, give it a watch. I don't think you guys would be disappointed with it. I think the cast is great. It's got a great story. It's very funny and entertaining. The soundtrack's great. You got the likes of Smash Mouth, and there's a few other, artists out there who have worked on the film, but I think a lot of us are familiar with Smash Mouth. But yeah, I wish I could say more, like I have stated, but thank you guys for tuning in. And if you enjoyed my review and my thoughts on this film, please give it a thumbs up. It's much appreciated. You guys are more than welcome to comment down below your thoughts and your opinions on the film, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content, and keep an eye out as I will have both Shrek 2 and Final Destination 2 reviews coming very, very soon, as I am trying to get through both of those franchises. But nonetheless, till next time guys, I'm Film Talk with Mikey. You guys take care and have a good one, and I'll see you soon.